Hi. Happy Tuesday Eve. My name is Chris Fair. Welcome to my YouTube where tonight we are discussing 90 Day Fiancé. It's season 9, it's episode 8. I am wearing a Miona level of makeup. I just tried okay, so my new thing now of eyeliner is I turn my head this way and then I really try and follow that line and where I would stop there normally. I was just like Miona and I was just like, come on, keep doing it. Keep going. And I was like, is that crazy? I would look and be like, well, I think it's even. Listen, I'm not as good as her, but I mean, I did feel like I was okay doing this and saying it's a Miona. You know what I'm saying? This is not even, I mean, like her goes up. Hers is definitely more up. But when you're actually doing it, it feels like you're going up, and then when you look at yourself, it goes down. I must have sad eyes. I feel like my eyes go like this. Like it's kind of I don't have to tell you. Anyway, I'm so happy to see you guys. I'm gonna be honest, this isn't my favorite episode, and the reason why, my loves, is because it felt pretty manufactured. And you would think I would like it because there was no Karen Guillermo. But I just everyone's drama just feels really produced. How do I say it? Just really uh, inauthentic. And I don't like this season that much. I just don't think I can do it. I mean, I'm going to do it because, we're doing this, but I'll be honest, I can see why people would not be interested this season. It's not the best, anyway, I'm so happy to see you guys. Hi, loves. Wah texted me and was like, I'm going live at the same time. And I was like, why? But I know people are watching both of us. So if you're in replay gang, thank you so much. And if you're here, God bless. Don't leave here to go to talk to her. Less people means more of an opportunity for you to talk. Ha 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 ha. And she's doing Family Chantel, so she's not doing 90 Day Fiance right now. She already probably did it. Anyways, let's get into this episode. Honestly, it'll probably be a little shorter because I'm not this wasn't great. Let's start with I think truly the hardest one right now, which I don't know if this drama is manufactured. This is probably seemingly truer drama. I just can't abide it because I find it distasteful, which is the Kobe Emily thing. It's very cringe. So basically, Kobe's here, and I think he doesn't, obviously have much to do. And so I think, also feels like he is, visiting her parents, and they're not treating him incredibly warmly, and neither is Emily. She is just on edge and wants to tell him how to do everything, how to breathe. I can see how it can be hard to keep your mouth shut on how your child is cared for, especially under the extraordinary circumstance that you are with the parent of this child, but the parent of your child hasn't had ample opportunity to be a parent. And you have. And so it's hard to limit that. Having said that, and still I feel like she should, what ends up happening is Kobe extends himself to her family as look, I would like to be of service to you in some way. I think it make me feel better, truly. And they live on a whole ass farm. And so they're like, great, we could use the extra pair of hands. We love free labor, and I don't know, somehow I wish this family, I guess, would have been like, oh no, actually, could you just really, we would love you to just bond with your son because you really haven't had that opportunity. So don't worry about the horses. We've been doing the horses without you. We've been taking care of this child too. And that's just no worries. You don't have to do anything here. Just be with that baby. Anyway, but God bless, that's not what it is. Kobe is put to work, and the work is something he's never done before in Cameroon, which is deal with animals, livestock, farm animals, horses specifically. Now, your girl, me, I have been dealing with horses. And it is, for someone who I can be really bougie, you have to want to be with them enough that you are okay with everything that comes with it, which is just their poop everywhere. Because it's like there's nothing you can do except just be covered in it because they are covered in it always. They lay down in it and just like rub everywhere. Like you tack and you do your horse and you like clean your horse, and bobbity blue. And as you clean your horse, you're taking your like various brushes. One's like a curly comb and one's like a hard bristle brush. You are just brushing the poop off of their bodies, and you just know those particles are just like everywhere. The only way that I can like get over it is I just think it's making my immune system stronger. Because they say that like kids raised in farm kids, ranch folk children have like impeccable immune systems. All right, here's the thing. And I also think we did it all this time. God bless. Listen, if COVID taught us one thing, we are just a bunch of animals roaming this earth, infecting each other at all times. And you can try and be safe, but just like the zombies are going to get you, and so is COVID at some point. I'm not saying don't arm yourself, but like that's what we assume will happen at some point. Herd immunity will like make it so that when people get it, it's not such a big deal because it's like transformed. But we're all going to get it. I mean, it's just like what it is. We all get the cold over and over again. Anyway, a bunch of animals roaming this earth. So anyway, Kobe has to shovel, the various horse poop, and Emily is just going in on him, honey. Like she is just watching him and just, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Have you tried this? I know how to do this. I don't understand why you're doing this way, baby. It's so dumb. Just do it this way. I don't understand why to me, I'm like, who's taking care of the baby? I don't understand why you're even here. You're just going to sit here, watch him work? That's so weird. If you are truly like wanting your boo to like be of service to your family and he wants that too, you would just be like, cool. Like, my dad, my mom will just like teach you what it is. Like I got 2 boobs that, are always working. I'm just going to let them work, honey, while I lay in that chair upstairs. But anyway, so obviously, like he tells her to like, please be quiet and please stop and whatever. And she does not. She's like, she's deaf. I don't know what to tell you. Like, so then he's like, shut the F up. He says, but that word. And she takes great offense, honey. And she like runs away, and he's like, oh God bless. Ugh, I can't believe I have to deal with this one. And then he goes talks to her, like he goes to talks to the mom, and I don't understand why her family has to be so involved in his life. Which I guess is how everyone feels. Like, I feel like Thais would be like, why is John so involved in my life? Why is everyone so no? But anyway, so the mom's like, okay, so honestly, I don't understand why it's so hard to feel like culturally it's different. It feels like across the board, we right now are in a situation, and maybe Americans specifically, that have a hard time understanding anyone else might have a different history, perception, worldview that permeates their being, that their life is, like perceived by who they are. And it's fundamentally different from who you are. There seems to be like a lack of respect in that way, that people don't get that people are different because of a billion reasons: religion, politics, culture, race. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, pick a topic. Like anything could be so, we're talking a lot about guns right now in America. It's like, there's a lot of like context and nuance, so there's just of everything. So it's just interesting how close-minded it feels like A, people are, and then B, a lot of people on the show, Emily being one. And I think that in a way, Bilal, and we'll talk about that, like, and I think there's like a lot of instances, and obviously Yvette and Mohamed. So, but going back to this, and I want to like bring up some combos. I love how Emily thinks she's in her lane to instruct him on how to shovel shit when she freely admits she doesn't do it herself. Here's the thing. It's not hard what it is. Okay, it's not like it's very easy, and he can do it a billion ways. He's shoveling horseshit. He's not doing their taxes. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's like leaving me a service. I'm like, okay, can you balance our whole like checkbook? I'm like, and they're all watching him. Like, I hope he does it. Hope he does it right, perfectly, every number right. No, it's like doesn't make a difference, honey. It's a bunch of horse poop that has to get from one area out of that area. I mean, whatever it is, one, one, two, one. I mean, who cares? Just let him do it. That's how I feel, or whatever. But they make it a big thing that it's like that he is sexist against her, and or because he's like, I don't get why you guys have to understand that like I'm from a whole culture that doesn't talk to men that way. There are is a history of for cultures with and we're talking about cisgender heteronormative or heterosexual men. You're not supposed to like boss them around so much that it like is an insult. It's an insulting. You can't boss anyone around too much. The same thing is why I feel like Emily bossing him around, I guess, is Bilal's like lecture towards Shida, which is why I think they'd be like a very interesting couple. Like they should watch each other. I actually am somewhat scared to see how they will talk to each other, I think, during the tell all. If I was Sean Robinson, I want to be, I'd be like, hey, Bilal, when you watch Emily's thing, and Emily, when you watch Bilal's thing, do you guys see each other, a little version of each other where you're just like a little too much to the other person and it's like stifling, or no? No? You should. We all did. Um, So, anyway, please like up and remember to thumbs up this video if you haven't yet. I know there's like, some fun peeps in the room watching. If you haven't yet, make sure that you're giving this video some engagement love. I need it. And I'm just going to wash this makeup off immediately afterwards. So, like, do it for the makeup, if not for me. I also got a little tan. So kind of I am a little bit like Miona. If I put my hair back up, does that look even more? Maybe I should. This gives it a little more Miona, right? Oh God. I don't know why I'm so booby. It's because I'm wearing a sports bra. Now, of course, I don't have like curly Q extensions to give me like the full Miona, but Okay, so but I am pretty tan right now, and I got tan and then put like my tan makeup on top of my tan, so this is like as good as it gets. Um, So basically, after the mom and him talk, and the mom shouldn't give her opinion, but basically the mom's opinion is like, yeah, Emily can be like somewhat controlling, and it's like not about sex at all. Like I don't know why she's instead of being like I take responsibility for raising her like that. I don't know why she's so like controlling. She must feel really insecure in her life, and I probably did that to her anyway, or her dad. I'm not quite sure, but probably our faults. I'm just gonna put it out there. Instead of that, she's like, but my husband would never say to me what you said. Listen, no one wants to hear the word shut the fuck up from a friend or a loved one. There's worse things to say. Have you ever said those? Have you ever said that to someone? I have. I have. I have. I'm sure I have. I haven't said F you or I fucking hate you or, like anything like that, but shut the F up. Yeah, I'm sure I have. Sure. Anyway, so God bless. The mom says that. We all roll our eyes so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then he has to go back and talk to Emily, and he's like, "Hey, babe," and she's like, "Hey, babe." Ugh. Oh God, I have a really hard time. I'm having a hard time. I just like feel like I feel so bad for him. And he has like this like he just feels like so hurt all the time. And I just feel like I just want him to take his baby and just be like, you know what, you guys, I'm cool. Like I'm gonna take this baby and just have like a month of my baby like by myself somewhere. I just know that maybe he just hasn't. It feels like they are treating him like he has just unfortunately given no money to their cause. I don't understand like any other like idea of like level of disrespect for him as a father or him as like a person. Like, it just but I also think that it also illustrates culturally how different like culturally we are in our views on relationship and gender roles and stuff like that. So, Brittany Lynn, I didn't think "Shut the F Up" was that surprising given how rude she was to him. That Mom and Emily have been looking for a reason to hate him. Yeah, like Brittany, I don't get it. Why? That's why I was like, is it because he's not given any money and they're just like other than that, Brittany, the only other like logic or motive is just that they have been wronged by previous Emily romantic choices and therefore have some sort of like placed prejudice on him because of that. Like, I don't understand what he has done. Anyway, I would feel very uncomfortable in that home. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I want him to get that baby and just be like, I'm just like, hang out with my baby. Like, thank you so much. I'm just gonna like, like take care of the baby for a little bit and just like be okay. Can you send the milk? You guys, is this true? I just want to talk about this for a second. My friend told me that if you are female, and I think that to be true, but maybe not, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe not if you're just female. I mean, because gender, God bless. But what I'm trying to say is, let me get to the next point, which is that any person, maybe, but I think it might be gender-born female. The reason why I'm saying the next part is that a person can take hormones and have their boobs milk. Lactate is the word. Now, I'm not saying that Kobe should do that. But have you heard of people just being able to do that? Like, if you didn't give birth, is what I'm trying to say. If you have not given birth to a baby, have you heard that you can take hormones and like lactate? I find that so interesting. Anyway, as much as I want to believe Emily is acting, I find it hard to believe it's not the real her or that she's getting a bad edit. I mean, Alexis, like, definitely, they obviously had to edit her many different like outbursts during the horse shoveling, but I guess, and maybe, is that over like 2 hours and they just gave us like 6 of them in a row? I mean, I'm just honestly hoping that she watched and then she was like, oh, you know what? I didn't understand my tone and the way I was saying it. And yeah, that's obnoxious. I wouldn't want to hear that over and over again, especially for something as mundane and stupid as shoveling horseshit. You're right. I don't have to tell you what to do. You're right. By the way, I'm expending so much energy correcting a meaningless task that I'm wasting when I could be living my life. If your baby's asleep, then honey, like, get whatever you want done. Talk to someone, get a manicure. There's just like, like, think about it, like so anyway, basically he, of course, like, he has to then be like, I'm sorry, and she's like, why did you get so upset? He's like, because you were talking. She's like, just because I was talking to you? And I want to be like, no, please, Kobe, can you use a different word besides talking? Like, that's just, no, you weren't just talking, like you were bossing, you were annoying, you were just like, yeah, you were just like overcorrecting. You just were just, and also I repeatedly asked you to stop and you didn't. And I wish you had respected that. But he didn't say any of that. He just was like in an awkward situation because the mom and him made him feel like he fucking, I don't know, killed a puppy. Okay, I'm so sorry. Like he killed Thais's puppy in front of them. He didn't. Okay, God bless. But I don't want him to kill the puppy. I like the puppy a lot. And she's like, okay, so say sorry. And then he's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, for what? And he's like, for saying shut the fuck up because you were talking. She's like, because I was talking. And then we all were like, we want better for you, Kobe. We can't. No, Kobe, no. Here's the thing. It's not that I don't want them to be together because even Kobe is like, she wasn't like this. And I want to not pretend. I want to say, I don't know the answer, but I want to hope that like we're dealing with Emily who's coming off of a lot of stress and hormonal situations in a situation where I want her to see herself. And then I'll be like, you guys, I'm going to be honest. I watched myself and I was confused why I was hostile. Yeah, I had a hostile tone to someone who I loved and the father of my kid. I wish I didn't. And I didn't realize. and I love him and I'm so happy or whatever. I want that to be the Emily that comes through. And that Emily could, you know what I'm saying? And like really right a lot of wrongs, you know, because I think that she would have those things to say. Look, yeah, like I'm on a TV show. I don't know what to be like on a TV show. I was stressed out. I didn't realize the fact that I was like hormonal. I'm like, whatever. It's very intense. It's overwhelming. I felt this. I felt that. I had the best intentions when I was trying to, you know, over control things. And yeah, like obviously I have some sort of trauma my parents aren't talking about. So we can put some blame on them too. I don't mind doing it. That's, you know, hey, Ari, you know, God bless. Okay, bringing us to the next part, which will be Ari and Benny, who, I mean, talk about manufactured, honey. Talk about it. I don't know if I can do it. It's like spam. You know, it's like drama. It's like if you want like meat, if you want like a steak, we're gonna get spam. You think it's drama, but it smells kind of weird. It looks even weirder, you know. Yeah, okay. So I don't know what to tell you. Like, we come off of like the dinner party where like it's confusing. Like, the family's like, are either of you going to pay us or pay anyone, or are we going to like do anything or whatever? And Ari's like, yeah, we both have to do things. Yeah, we're gonna like both get jobs. You know, like basically, he can't get a job, so it's going to be on me, I guess. But also like he has to get a job, and he's like, okay, cool. The job I really want to get is like my dream job is MMA. Fighting, and also like that can always happen because like if we don't work out, if she doesn't like me, haha, she'll sign for that green card. And they're all like, Morse code using like nostril. Do you ever do that? Earth, oh, Earth. I'm just kidding. And then what of course happened is that he gets into MMA, honey, and we get like, you know, his MMA gym tryout situation. I mean, MMA looks cool. I don't understand, you know, like really what makes that good other than just being like somewhat physically fit and like strong and, you know, like holding people down. There's so many different types of MMA, but anyway, like wrestling and there's like kickboxing and other ones. Muay Thai. But guess what? He's really great. They're like, oh, he's fucking great. He's the greatest, actually. And he's like, okay, so, oh, Wah's impression of Emily is amazing. I know she's good. I know Wah's really talented. And listen, I know that she's live at the exact same time as me right now, so I'm happy you think that she's nice. No, I love her so much, and that's so funny. I couldn't love her more. Yeah, it is really funny. I haven't watched her one for this. Now that I'm done here, I can watch her episode recap for this one. So there are some questionable antics here. First of all, we find out that Benny's like to the place, and how long it will be, you know, is taxing for Ari because she has to drive them there and she has the baby and she also has to like have like a job. And so then it becomes like this is like a little too much or overwhelming. I don't understand the following things. It's like 3 or 4 hours. How far is it away? Why can't he take public transportation there? It's the East Coast. Why would she have to drive it? I don't understand. You're telling me there's no like bus? So then we get this asinine montage, honey, where then we get this like Ari being like, well, I ended up getting a job and it's for my friend's social media company and I work remote. Okay, great. Actually, that's also great. And then but they have this like B footage of her on the playground with like their child, I forgot the name. And then Ari, Benny, Avi. And then she's like, Avi, oh God, I gotta answer this phone call. Hi, no, I'm just on the playground. Yeah, no, I gotta send the email, but no, the email's already done. I just have to like copy and paste all the other emails. So no, Avi, oh my goodness, it's too hard as a woman. And I just kind of want to be like, why? I mean, here's the thing, like a billion things. Like, why would you take a phone call? I mean, there's so many things. Like, why couldn't you just send that email? Just copy and paste before you went to the thing. And also just like have him drive himself or have public transportation or just have him take the car. If you're staying home, I mean, you have a baby and you're staying home, you're working remotely. Well, I don't know, just have him rent a car. Okay, he can't drive. If you're telling me he can't drive, fine. Then take public transpo. It finally becomes this thing where now she's like, well, I really want him to stay home. He should be the one staying home and I should be the one working. It's just so like fake. But I'm not even telling you the part that's the worst part. So then, by the way, love Lynn J so much. An international driver's license. Ooh. Rude awakening for that couple. I think they both live in La La Land, supported by Ari's parents. Well, then is that a rude awakening for that couple, or like is that kind of like the perfect life for them? And really, what it's their parents that's doing it all. So, she's gonna go pick up Benny, and then she like walks in with the baby, honey, and Benny is like, like in mid wrestle with some girl. Her name is Melissa, honey. Her name is Melissa. She has fake eyelashes on. That's fine. But Ari, clocks it all. So then Ari comes like a bat out of hell, like, excuse me, Benny, I'm sorry. What? Why are you with someone? Why are you wrestling with a woman? Why wouldn't you tell me? And then she proceeds to like get down everyone else's throats. Like, oh, excuse me, but if you were in a relationship, blah, blah, like she confronts Melissa. She's like, what's your name? And Melissa's like, Melissa. She's like, excuse me, what's your name? And Melissa's like, well, bitch, I just said Melissa. You're not listening. You're just doing this for whatever. You're just like, I don't know. Melissa. Yeah, when Ari gets close, she gets mad at Melissa's makeup. Melissa's like fake eyelashes or whatever. Melissa's like, I have a competition coming up. And if you're going to tell me, listen, you can tell me that this is her dress rehearsal for her competition. And I don't, watch a lot of MMA. Surprise, surprise. But do the girls there, like, do they have, fake eyelashes on? I'm assuming yes. Now, for me, well, actually, what's better? I was going to say, is it better to have like eyelash extensions? How do you not sweat it off? Who knows? So anyways, she gets right up in Melissa's face. Melissa's like, I don't even know how to ask. Like, I don't know why you're like mad at me. Like, I'm just like, I'm working out here and so is this person. And by the way, when you're a professional MMA fighter, like you just wrestle everyone. That's what it is. You have to be a professional. And then she goes up with the trainer. The trainer's like, this sounds like personal business between you all. And also you're ruining the vibe. And somehow that lands with Ari. And she's like, oh, I am ruining the vibe. She's like, okay, I'll go. She's just really pissed that Benny like didn't tell her specifically that he was wrestling with a woman. And all I have to say is like, yeah, I just don't care. So moving on. It just feels fake. It just feels like I just don't care. I wish I could tell you that I did care. Okay, but I just can't. And that's what it is. Let's talk about Patrick and Thais. Okay, but I just can't. Sorry. And that's what Patrick and Thais. I'm actually kind of sad because I feel like it started off strong, and let me tell you where it's at now, which is we don't know, like Patrick's bag, situation. Not that we should, but like sometimes he said things and we were like, okay, like that he just has his brother like living in his big house because he needed someone to live in the house. But I think that also, the brother is like, paying for things, which is making his life easier because life is expensive or whatever. And we get that. And Thais definitely feels like she's either, okay, three things: young and naive and ignorant, or no, she's young, or doesn't understand how money works. That's kind of the first one, or was like shown something and told something throughout their courtship that made her believe that this man is pretty financially stable in this world. Having, obviously come back from like a doping scandal. And he obviously talks about managing teams all over the place, and so I'm not saying that he's done like a Bilal level of posing, but he definitely, I feel like, has wanted us to know that he's a certain amount of successful. But anyway, and why I bring this up is because we were sort of, I think, balancing between whether his adoration and obsession and devotion to John and living with John was this like bromance, literal bromance, brohood of reconnecting and healing from a past, as well as like being there for each other for like where they are in their future, which makes sense. But I think that also financially, yeah, they live together. They share the expenses. And Thais is bringing like not a dollar, you know, to the whole thing. And she, I feel like, didn't expect that to be a problem. And I want to know why. And those were the options. Maybe she just like thinks that all Americans are rich. Maybe she doesn't understand that he, like needs the money and like he hasn't been so forthcoming, which I think is what it is. So basically, out of nowhere, business comes a call and he has to like sell that house, honey. They're living in Austin and then move to a new house in Dallas. And they get there and, like Thais is like constantly being like, why do I have to live with Johnny? And he has to be like, for this reason, for that reason, because he's this, because he's that, and she like still doesn't get it. So it's just like a back and forth. It's kind of like, all right, well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I would give it an ultimatum. I'd be like, in 90 days, if I get married, I'm not going to be married and starting my life with a man in the house with me and you. So he has 3 months, which I think is good. But no, I don't want to be married and like starting a family with like another man in the house. I want to go back. This is so funny. Oh, this is a great point. Laughing my ass off. Ari lost my respect by asking about Melissa's lashes and makeup. Let Melissa look good and hold Vinny accountable. He's the one that you should be running up to. I mean, he absolutely was weird, Especially because I want to be like, that girl can drop kick you. Ari, like, I mean, she's can just, both lips gone, 1-2 punch. You're on your butt. I mean, at least if you run up to Benny, like, he's not going to hit you. I would have been like, she would have been like, what's your name? I'm like, Melissa. She's like, what's your name? I'd be like, I'm just kidding. Violence is never the answer. So anyway, going back, I'm so sorry because of course I jumped around to Patrick and Thais. So they get to the place, and then there's this conversation over things that Thais does not like. The furniture, and specifically 2 things, like a round coffee table that looks kind of like Mediterranean in their living room, which I get, and I guess the living room is substantially smaller, so it probably doesn't fit or look good, and that makes sense. But the other thing is an upstairs, what feels like, because now they went from a ranch style 1-level home to 2-level home, upstairs where there seems to be like a den that I think the boys want to be a man cave. But Johnny's taking the flack for that by being like, that's Johnny's area. So Johnny has his furniture, which is hideous, really ugly. And Thais is like, doesn't want it there. And Patrick's like, you're never going to see it. You know what I'm saying? And like, so, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, she should have been like, oh, and yeah, we get 3 months, so he's going to be out. I mean, I don't have to tell you, he can take this with him. I won't say anything about it. Then there's a conversation where Thais is like upset about how that it feels smaller, that she wants to move back, blah, 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 to the other place. And this is where, and she's upset that her voice isn't heard in this situation. And, yeah, I can see that is a point, that I get what she's saying. She isn't being heard, and specifically all of it, which is that there's not enough space and it's the ugly furniture. And Patrick knows this is all special language and not Portuguese for get John the F out of here. I don't want John here. But also that table has to go. So it's interesting though in the confessional between this Patrick and Johnny sitting next to each other and being able to like talk openly about the fact that they don't want to live with Johnny. And Johnny has to understand the other part of it's like, okay, so, oh God. Okay, so, I love my cousin Monique. And let's say that I was living with Monique and then she just like fell in love. And I was living with her but she fell in love, and this person for some reason was moving into her house, and I think I would want to leave to give them a fresh start as respect for Monique. Even if she was like, no, I'd be like, no, I want the best for you. I understand how relationships work. Unless, of course, I knew secretly, and this is like, me really extending this parallel, that Monique couldn't afford to live in the house without me. And so I had to be like, I don't know what to do, Monique. Yeah, just tell your dude who's not giving you any money. Shouldn't be that picky. Beggars can't be choosers, It's not the house, it's the brother. Yep. So, by the way, I'm not bringing up the comments of everyone telling me how pretty I look. I want you to know I'm seeing them. I'm only trying to like not look super vain. Bringing up comments telling you, look up this comment. Nothing about the show to tell me how pretty I am. Ha ha ha. So I just want you to thank you so much for them. Just want you to guys know I'm seeing them. Okay, so Monique should move out with the guy and you stay. I mean, listen, I think the same thing. I think, but I couldn't, whatever it was. I had to like keep the parallel going. So we'll just see what happens there. It wasn't really great. So, but we are getting into better talks now. So we have better talks, better couples. Mohamed and Yvette, and we have Jibri and Miona, and we have Bilal and Shida. I'm going to go to Jibri and Miona. I almost don't even want to talk about this one at all. This is talk about manufactured honey. I mean, this is the worst. This is the spam. So basically, I'm going to tell you what happens. I can't even stand it, Birdie. I'm going to do it so fucking fast. I don't care. So Jibri is just like, in this band and we have to know about it or whatever. So Jibri's in this band. And it's probably the reason why he's on the show. And we like have to listen to it and think about the fact that the band might be successful at some point. When I can't be mad that's going to happen. There's just so many musicians on the show, we'll never hear of them again. But one of the things that happens with Jibri and Miona is that he has to go to Chicago, however, because his best friend David is there or whatever. He gives a story about David, which is the best part of the whole episode, which is that basically, if this is true, this is what happened. David and him were just like really, really young and then like in school together. And David had a whole ass accent because he's from Serbia. And then like, obviously we gets to America and he has that accent or whatever, and Jibri like meets him for the first time and Jibri's like an asshole and just like makes fun of him, and then like David just like punches Jibri and he's gonna come over for 3 months or whatever. God bless. No, 3 days. But then 3 months later he then meets this like other Serbian girl and like dates that girl for 3 months. I don't know numbers, it's very hard. But then 3 months later realizes that the girl he's dating is David's sister, and then they become really, really good friends, and he stops dating with his sister. And now like fast forward to now. So now we're like talking to Miona, and it's like, we be in your best behavior, and she's like, will he be in his best behavior? She's like, I will go to Chicago with you, but if I go to Chicago, I get my dream beach wedding. And so like, really, it's just like, it was so mapped out. I honestly can feel like in this situation, I can see the like index cards that were like strung out on the producer's table to like put together the storyline, and I hate it. So anyway, God bless. They get to Chicago, honey. David's there, and David's like, yo, and David has a whole different, like look than he grew up. He was living in America, so he's like David now. It's a whole different situation. Everyone's kind of like a mix of everything. I don't have to tell you. Everyone, is like a melting pot, I guess, of all these people. So David like now works in like truckery. He's like a like long distance. I don't know if he like manages a bunch of trucks. He seems like he like runs a truck yard, and he just like hires people, and they like get their commercial driving license, and just God bless you, just like cross-country driving, which by the way, I just heard, this is so sad, but it might be like an industry getting out of there because they're going to just have like automatic freight trucks. Maybe there are some freight trucks, however, you still need to have a person. I'm not quite sure. So anyway, like Jibri's like, oh, I did it. It was like, I made a bunch of money. It was actually great, but now that, Miona's here, like I can't do it anymore. And so that's like, I guess one way, because Miona would be like upset that he like went on the long drives without her, unless of course she went with him, which I think would be LOL. However, that is what they should do. I don't know why he's so against making money. He's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I just have to like do creative things. It's like, creative things what? Like, what are you doing? What is making the money? How are you going to pay for this beach wedding anyway? So God bless. We talk about that a little bit. So basically the producer is like, I don't know what to tell you, like there with them. And everything is so fake to like make them feel like there should be a storyline where we care about their band. That's basically it. Like he even like introduces the band. Oh no. Okay. Black Serbs are on YouTube quite good. Okay. So let me tell you this right now. I haven't gone into the music and I haven't listened to it. So before I just like wax poetic on everything I know, you're right. I don't know the Black Serbs. If they are, great. I want you to know, maybe you should open your mind and like make your own opinion without me rambling mine. Maybe they are good. But I just don't think it's gonna be my kind of music, honey. I really don't. I just don't see that happening. Anyway, so this is the part that's like ridiculous though. So they're in the studio, Miona's like, I don't know, somewhere else, just like looking up like how to do like a beach wedding. She's like, if we were in Serbia, my mom would give us money, but now we're doing it on our own. And I'd be like, why doesn't her mom just still give you some money? I mean, can that money still be like wire transferred here? I'm just saying money's money. But anyway, come on, Venmo. But he's in the studio and David's like, okay, let's put down this track. Like everyone put on their like do not disturb. And then David's like, hold up, I just gotta like text Miona. And then David's like, why do you gotta text her? She knows you're just like here doing your thing. Now, I'll tell you this right now. If I was with a friend who I knew like wasn't a big fan of someone that I was boning or sleeping with or like about to get married to or any of it, if I had to slyly text that person, I wouldn't be announcing it. I'd be like, oh, put on do not disturb 1 second. Well, okay, great. You know what would happen? Not a thing. Not a fisticuffs. But unfortunately, that's not what happens. I'll tell you. So, I mean, David like knew the script. And so he's like, what are you going to do that? Why are you going to text her? And just like, they just start like, whatever. And I'm just like, here comes the coma, honey. Because let's be honest, if we're going to put money on someone, we now know that David has a good right hook. I mean, David should be like wrestling with Benny on that map, honey. I mean, David in that MMA circle, honey. David. Oh, Wa's here. Wa, are you done with your thing? Oh, wow. I didn't write. Yeah, you know what? I just realized I didn't scroll all the way down. I tried to tell her, but oh, no interest in their music. Always good to go into the studio with someone who kicked your head into a coma. Genius. When he told that story, I was like, oh, just throwing it out there. Like, anyone like press any charges? Or is it a situation where since he instigated it, like he couldn't? It was like self-defense. Was he like a little bully? How do because he kicked him in the head. The fuck? He just jumped some kid and then got kicked in the head in a coma for 3 days. And his mother, his strong biracial mom, was just like, if he pulls through this, I will spend every moment I have psychologically manipulating him to lead the life I want him to lead. No, I'm horrible, but whatever. So, it's house music, but they have a lot of views. That's tracks. Yeah, that tracks. So yeah, basically they fight, honey. And I'll tell you, as I watched it, I was like, this is boring. And I 100% would watch more footage of Binny and Melissa. That's what I want to watch. Binny and Melissa. So, my loves, we will see. I don't know what to tell you about that. I just LOL'd over so many parts, especially where he was just like, you can make so much more money doing creative stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you totally can. Like, but literally that's like being like, oh, I can have a job because I can make so much more money winning the lottery. And it's like, yeah, I know definitely. If you like right now, I think last night, so it might have changed, but last night it was 198 for Mega Millions and 207 for Powerball in California. So yeah, if you won that and you got like half of that, like 100 million, definitely a lot of money. Definitely more money than like trucking. But I mean, like, how are you gonna pay for the lottery ticket? The gas to get to the lottery ticket. You know how much expensive gas is now? Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I just think it is funny that he got called out for not wanting to make money by his friend David when like that's basically what his like whole parents are saying, and he was like, yeah, you sound just like my parents. Yeah. David's like, man, if I had just put you in that coma for those 3 days, we didn't lose those brain cells, honey. You could be working. Something tells me the beach wedding will be a lot of sand and flip-flops at mom's house. Uh, here's the thing. I think okay. First of all, she wants to do the beach wedding like somewhere around Chicago, right? Like, is that what somewhere around? But I, so it's like what kind of what kind of beach wedding? Because I can't like I always thought that she wanted to like somehow get her butt to like the West Coast. I always thought that she was gonna like think of herself getting like Santa Monica. Like not that I thought, or, I don't even know where you can get married like on Santa Monica Beach. I know that you can get married like definitely places in Orange County on the beach, like the Montage and Laguna or something like that. Which yes, because I'm a bougie bee and I'm from here, like when every time she kept saying like she wants a beach wedding, I was like, oh, like at the Montage, that is expensive. No, it's like, yeah, no, it's like really expensive. But if your criteria for beach wedding is like sand, water wedding, well then yeah, there's like a lot of I think there's different options for that. Oh, it was a destinations wedding. She wants SoCal, a lake beach. Yeah, she did say that. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I like missed it. She dreams of the West Coast. Okay, yeah, listen. Then she should do the Montage. Pelican Hill's gorgeous. The Babel Bay Club. Oh, yeah, no, you can. Miramar. Oh my God, no, a lot of beautiful options. Okay. You know why that confused me? Because it felt like she was saying, like, if we go to Chicago, I'm gonna get my dream wedding. But then, yeah, she said destination wedding. It was confusing. I thought maybe she was like trying to like to get her parents in. I don't know. I also like don't like them as much, so I don't pay the best attention sometimes when they are like on their thing, or sometimes I'll just like check my phone, but only in choice moments. Okay, so getting down to final ones, let's talk about God. We have Mohammed and Eve and Bilal and Shida. Let's talk about Mohammed and Eve. So after they had their awkward conversation with Yvette's squad, which was a bunch of like, you watch porn, Mohammed? 50-year-olds. And I'm just saying, like, that's true. It was. I am no like Muhammad fan, but like that wasn't like a whole scene that made him look bad. I feel like that scene made him look good, unfortunately, and to the point where it maybe like led us into this next scene, which is basically Yvette wants to cater to him by going to a mosque and experiencing like an Islamic service. Now, this is, I think, like what their thing is. They never talked about like what they expected from each other. Or when they did, it was in such vague and unspecific short words and terms because they don't speak the best common language that they have no idea truly how they envision their future together. Because I do not think that Muhammad understands that Yvette wanted like a hot piece to come live at her house, like make her feel hot and sexy, and also take care of her son and change his catheter every 2 hours. And he thought that he was going to come to America and be taken care of by an older woman, just like his mother took care of him. And also, since this woman is just like his mom, also be like his mom, which is a lovely Muslim acting lady or lady who or woman who in his mind the virtues of womanhood is somewhat indistinguishable with a conservative tone. These things seem wildly off from each other. it's unfathomable that like they could really have been so far off in what they expected of each other and what their like commonalities were and their understanding of what they could be for each other and be here, because they really do have juiced. They really do have like fight after fight of like them being like, I never told you I wasn't gonna wear bikinis. Like, yes, you did. You told me you're going to change every day. I thought you were going to change, and she's like, I never said any of that. But also, like, will you take care of my son? Like it's like I think we're supposed to think that Mohamed is this like backwards, like sexist, like over the top controlling person. I'm not saying he's not all of that, but I also feel like you, girl, mommy, lady, doctor of acupuncture and holistic medicine. I won't take that away. You are that. What did you think? Like, look at my face and tell me exactly what you thought that this man from Egypt was going to come over here and do. Again, it goes back to like truly like not understanding there's different cultures in this whole entire world. Like, I don't understand how you don't know like how someone's religion affects them. And like, does she know the thing about his dad that he like is like incredibly tied to his religion because it was a experience he shared with his dad who died very suddenly? I mean, we know that now. You guys, nice to see you. Papa baby bingy blanket. Oh, my Miona, you just got here. Yeah, I Miona'd out for everyone. For me. I just got some brand new eye makeup remover, so it'll be easy to remove. So basically, please thumbs up the video, my loves. If you haven't, just go ahead and give this little like algorithm a little tickle. I really need it. I'm so sorry. If you do, I will not do nothing. Just keep talking. Just keep doing what I already was doing, which is talking about this dumb show. And it was so fake. This episode was so fake. So basically, Yvette goes to the mosque, and since we've seen this scene already so many times over the years, we know so many things, like the fact that women are separated. We're like experts now. But now we still have to see this woman like be like, it's so crazy. They separate you right away. Oh. Is that so crazy? I'll tell you what's kind of bananas that you didn't know that. Yeah, it's bananas that you didn't know that. Because you went to Egypt, right? I don't understand what you think Islam is. Only because, yeah, I mean, if someone, what anything was like, I don't know. Okay, let me say it. Like, if someone was like heavily Catholic, I'm trying to think of something. Okay. Someone's like heavily Catholic and you go to a Catholic mass and you were going to be like, I didn't realize that at one point everyone was going to get up and put a little something in their mouth and sit back down. Well, yeah. At some point during a Catholic mass, everyone gets up. You can, doesn't everyone, but a lot of people get up, they go to the altar. This thing is put in their little mouths. Chew it. It's probably the first thing they ate all day, honey. It dissolves right away. You're like, ugh. It's like, yeah, that's that religion. I didn't know you didn't. It's fine if you don't know about it, but yeah, that's what happens at that religion. It's called communion. It's a Eucharist or communion. Yeah, there's just a sacrament that's what that is. It's not a weird thing. You just don't know about it. But yeah, if you were going to like marry someone and that person's heavily that religion, you should start thinking about knowing some parts of that religion. Now, whether you have to convert, honey, it's a whole conversation that I don't know I would have had and like made known, like, I don't know, before that person got here, before I like introduced that person to my son. She seems so flighty. All her friends seem absolutely bananas too. I don't think that I could be friends with either one of them. I don't think I could do it. You know what I'm saying? And like, she seems like I just can't hang my hat on her. Like there's like it seems there's like an immaturity, or I don't know. There's just we don't align in such a way, really. And I'm not saying that I like am like pro Mohammed. Truly, it's just that I don't like the way she like it feels like she is trying to make it seem like he is controlling and out of line and that, how dare he? And I want to be like, well, I think it would be more abnormal for a practicing religious person of most faiths to like not kind of want their partner to like be of their faith. And I think there would have to be a conversation across the board if you're with someone who's like heavily a religion to be like, just making sure. And I'm not this religion, right? And that person be like, yes or no. And that like I don't see myself, nor do I want to be pressured to be part of your religion. It just seems like that would have to have like that conversation would have to happen. I mean, yeah, like what if you started dating a lovely like like a more conservative Jewish person? Because then there are like if you're God bless marrying someone who keeps kosher, there's a lot of things. And maybe there are kosher keeping folks that's like, yeah, I want to keep kosher for the rest of my life. I don't mind or I don't, what my wife or my partner or my husband does is fine by me. I'm not quite sure, but maybe there are. And then maybe, there's people, I mean, it seems like otherworldly and unfathomable that you wouldn't have had that conversation already. So I don't know what to like tell you. Okay. So we have one more. Oh no, sorry. So anyway, so I'm so sorry. So basically what happens then is she goes to a wine dinner with her friend. He's like, are you going to drink wine at this dinner with my friends? And she's like, I was gonna have a glass. And she's like, I can't wait to have a glass. It's the only reason why she's going out. Because she can't just like buy a bottle of cupcake and have it in the drawer now at his house. Anyway, so she does go and meet with her friend, and her friend, like, it's just like, he is changing you, and I hate it, and starts crying about it. And I'll be honest, I think that she is, a little too seasoned to be wasting those tears. But, if we're watching a woman learn a lesson, and the lesson is start to, I don't know why I keep touching my hair. It's because I don't like what's happening. And that was too big. Like if we're watching a woman learn how to, communicate what she wants and what she needs and cement a realistic portrait of a life with someone. If this was how she's meant to learn it, okay. We all have things that lessons to be learned. Um, wouldn't you love to see like I would love a little more backstory about Mohammed. Like I want to talk to Mohammed's like mom. And I kind of want to talk to Yvette's baby daddy, her ex-husband. Like I kind of want both perspectives because truly both seem obviously not aligned with each other and I mean in two different worlds. And I would like to know kind of like if there's any commonality at all. At this point, I feel like they should not be together at all. I don't think it would do them any good. So, okay, I'm putting up this comment. Muhammad gives me Michael Jackson vibes. Jessica. Are you okay? Are you saying that in a way that is saying that he gives you vibes of alleged behavior like Michael Jackson? Or that his demeanor and or voice and or like look gives you a Michael Jackson vibe? Voice. Okay. Yeah, it is. I mean, in that high voice. Oh, everyone's saying voice. Okay. I know that Eve wants me to stay with her child, but I would like Eve to not wear a bikini. I think that is nice compromise. and my bidet. It's bad. Um, okay, I see you. They live in vacay bay texting situationship. Absolutely. I say in Wall's live that he has a creepy MJ whisper voice. It's that translator app voice. That's funny. Tag me in. Oh, she wants to come in. She wants to come in. I forgot how to do it. Wait. Okay. It's because she wants to do the accent, and we want to hear her. I know you do. I know you do. Yeah, her Mohamed is better than mine. I know it is. Yeah. And then people want your Emily too. So since you're gonna come on, you're gonna have to do your Emily and you're gonna have to do your Mohamed. Okay, my baby boos, let's bring to the stage. You know her, you love her. Wahimalino.
Hi, I want to say that Craig, I like you so much. I messed it up. But hi everyone. What is it like? Here, let me turn around this way. It's better lighting.
Eve.
No, it's not. Sorry. I think Eve and Theron are annoying, but I want to come to America. It's like whenever there's a transitional or like a pause, he takes it on another vowel. So like to.
Yeah, there is like a sing-song in it, right?
Yeah. I have questions because I missed it because we went live at the same time. One, why are you wearing so much makeup?
Okay, great. I wanted to give a little Miona.
Oh.
Yeah. So I first honestly what happened was like I'm just gonna do like eyeliner. And so I started and my thing now is I turn my head and I start from there and I started going up. But I don't understand then what to do because what is she doing?
You have to start like you're gonna have to start like here and go higher. So yours is like, I'm pointing to the screen as so you can see it. Yours is meeting the end of your brow. And yours needs to go like here. So use the tip, like take the tip of your liner up to the tip of your brow.
So you're saying I would have had to go.
Yes. In order for it to match your eye shape, because you have different eye shapes. Like she has an almond. She has a squintier almond than you. And you have a rounder almond. You know?
A rounder almond.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Mohamed you're absolutely right. Everything you said about watching her being seasoned and a seasoned woman shedding those tears, you're 100% correct in that. It's almost like it's a difference between watching what was her name with Emmy, or Hiromi is the friend. What's her name?
Oh, Ellie.
Ellie. Yeah. It's like watching Ellie go through that with Vincent.
Victor.
I don't know his name.
Victor.
It's like Ellie and Victor, and then watching even Mohamed. Like it's the same energy, but it's like, mama, you can't waste those tears on a 25-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
It just.
You know what? I do this too, which is I fantasize and idealize certain situations. And I feel like with those two people, you saw the fantasy that they had in their mind. And then when you looked at who they picked it with, you were like, oh, okay. Like Ellie was like, no, Victor and I are going to have our own bar in the most beautiful paradise and everything's going to work out totally for the rest of our lives. And nothing's going to come between us. And yes, he's cheated on me. And yes, he's probably very flirty. And yes, I'm going to move into like where he's lived his whole time. But it's like, no, he loves me for like, not just my money, just for my hair. You know, like you're just like, whatever you're thinking, you're like, oh my God. And then with like, of course, with Yvette, it's like, yes, I'm just gonna have a hot piece Muslim guy to come live with me, and I'm gonna like not have to change anything. He's gonna change everything for me, and by change everything for me, I mean the catheter for my son every 2 hours.
Yeah, it is quite interesting the glaring things, because Mohamed is adamant that he's told her everything that he's expected.
I know.
And she is like, he never said that, and I'm like, well, Also, Muhammad's English is better than Benny's English. It's better than a lot of people's English. And so, like, I do truly believe that Muhammad expressed that to her. I don't believe her. I
Yeah,
believe that he did.
I completely agree. I think that his English is very well, and like from what I know, and I'm basically a professional Middle Eastern person, as you know. Egypt had like ties to England and Egypt, were so a lot of Egyptian people
Can speak
speak
English.
English. They don't speak French, like the Lebanese. I don't know. They sound like that, but yeah, Lebanese people speak French and Egyptian.
Yeah. You've said so many things, you've hit on so many things that are absolutely correct. Like even when you said like Jibri and Mahalia, like I thought the same thing. I'm like, so this boy kicked your son in the head and he was in a coma for 3 days and you somehow allowed them to be friends. I have a sneaky suspicion that Mahalia doesn't like David either. She's like, fuck all them Serbs.
A Serb almost took my son away.
Yeah. I feel like she's like not into any of that. Super solid points. Didn't want to take over your thing, but I just wanted to come in and do Muhammad's voice.
Will you do your Emily accent? People were calling for that earlier.
Oh my god. Babe, so I was wondering if Coben would like oh my god, did you already talk about Emily?
Yes.
Jesus Lord have mercy. I didn't see it. Can you just tell me real quick? What did you think of him saying shut the F up?
I thought it was not a big deal. I've said it to people before. I feel like it wasn't like saying like I fucking hate you. I feel like I don't understand how I don't understand why she was there. I was like, you have a baby at time. The whole thing is like, this man is like trying to be of service. He's not gonna be with this kid. You're for some reason not allowing him to either be with this kid if the kid's asleep. Then you go and like do your nails or whatever. Just like there is no reason to tell anyone how to shovel shit. I mean, like there is just like he's not doing the counting for you. Like it's not like like put that number in that square. Like no, like that's a big deal and can I guess fuck up some shit. But you know what doesn't fuck up some shit? Shoveling shit.
Yeah. You know what? I could see your point of view, but to me, somebody telling me to shut the F up, regardless of the circumstances, like those are fighting words. Like I would have been very angry. Like you tell me to be quiet and get away from you, but to shut the F up, like, no.
He did say try to get away. He kept saying leave.
I know he did. But
well, I think that if I would need like if I was if you are pushing and somehow you're not waking up to the fact that someone keeps being like stop. I mean, maybe you need to hear like something to like shake and rattle you, Okay,
I have a question. What if you were having like a moment where you're having anxiety and you're just rattling off to your intended and then he tells you to shut the F up? What is Mike Farah gonna say?
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Allah. If my dad was watching me be uber controlling and bossing someone around, he would probably have said something to me before Kobe would have said, shut the fuck up. He'd be like, Chris, just go up. He would be like, because I think that one thing of me watching Emily is me understanding I have tendencies of being controlling. I get it because there are times in my life that I felt in my surroundings and controlling every aspect the way I want makes me feel protected and good. And I think there was also like something I get off about being an only child about it. And, but it's something that he points out to me already, and so I think that if he was watching me do this to my loved one who he knew that I want to have a good relationship with, I think he would try and stop me from doing something that I'm not privy to or being if I'm wrong, he would be the one to put me in my place. It's my dad.
Yeah. Okay. That's very, very fair. I feel like my dad would tell me the same thing too. Would be like, Wahima, you were bothering him. But the fact that her family supported that, and I know that mom is going to go back and tell the dad, they are not rooting for Kobe in this relationship. And it feels like neither is Emily. No one's rooting for Kobe to be successful, and they are allowing Emily just to be who she is, just because they've accepted her nonsense. they expect other people to. And I think it's interesting that they both say, this is not the Emily from China. This is not the Kobe from China. And I'm like, yeah, because Emily has gone through a transition. And also I think Kobe has gone through a transition. He wasn't there for the incident that caused the transition, but he's gone through it as well. And he wants to be a dad. He wants to be a good dad. He wants to be an active dad. And she doesn't want any of that from him. She only wants it in the way in which she can digest it. And like we're like on day 5 with them. It's maybe been a week.
That's so funny. It feels like we've been forever with them. Wait, the last thing I want to say is that I'm also not taking into account, and what I did earlier, I just want to make sure I say in front of you, is like, this Emily is different. Like she could easily be like hormonal, post-menopausal, or sorry,
Natal.
postnatal, yeah, like like her hormones are probably all over the place in many different ways, and she's on TV for the first time, and like this situation is extraordinary for her and maybe very overwhelming and stressful, and I think that there's a possibility that like maybe she will come to the tell all and be like, I watched myself and felt like, oh yeah, I was really overwhelming.
Yeah.
I want to, yeah, like also like reiterate, yeah, it does feel like they are holding something against Kobe. And I don't know if it's that he didn't give any money this whole time or that they are holding Emily's past against him, her own choices against the choice that is the current choice.
Yeah. I think it's true. Also, we got the snippet of last episode where the dad does say, well, how are you guys going to pay for this? Because I'm not going to pay for it. And I keep thinking to myself, I can see you not wanting to pay for Kobe, but you shouldn't be having the conversation about paying for the family with Kobe. You should be having that with Emily, because that is the person who is running around making poor choices. Kobe, yes, but he's trying to make up for his poor choices by coming to the States. I just wonder what her behavior is going to be like when he wants to take Coben to Cameroon to visit his family, or when he puts more emphasis on the foreign family, and she and her family are going to be like, well, no, he can't go there. He doesn't have the shots, or, what kind of amenities are there in Cameroon? Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I just feel like it is baseline some kind of xenophobia, racism, but then on the top of it, like, you kids need to figure out how you're going to pay for things. Like, no, Emily needs to figure out how she's going to pay for things, and Kobe's going to figure it out too. But when you're having that conversation, Emily is the one who has been in the States and is like nannying or something. Like, girl, go get a job. Like, not like a nanny isn't, but didn't she quit? I don't know. It just feels like she's the one that's a little less. Yeah, I do agree, Christy. Emily does have a huge sense of entitlement. And I think the dad is like wanting to put the heap of the blame onto Kobe. And I'm like, he is at a disadvantage, and he will be at a disadvantage in this country for at least a year.
Not according to AK, honey, because AK is going to take that opportunity to
Oh my gosh. I mean, if they do it right, they can make a lot of money. Kobe needs to get on Cameo ASAP.
Yeah, he also, I think that he has to be like working out again and then like trying to sell some sort of like thing on, the Instagram, like wait, I want to say that's what I want to say about, okay, 2 things. Sorry, there's a couple things. Did you see that the parents have like some like Afrocentric art in their house?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
I gotta take a picture. They have they have like 2 pictures of a beautiful like natural haired lady, just like hoops.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so I sorry, when I saw it, I was like,
did they do it for Coben? If they did it for Coben to make him feel like, here's a Black person, then I think that's lovely.
Okay, I'd like to know. Yeah, we don't know the answer. The only couple I have to talk about are Bilal and Shai. Can we talk about them together? Can you stay around and talk about Bilal and Shai?
Oh yeah, let me go actually like be presentable.
Do you want to go and then you want to come back?
No, I'm just gonna, slowly walk into the room with the like mic set up and like all that stuff.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna let you go because you're going in and out. So get there, and I'll get you back. Okay, so as we know, yes, I'm gonna let her set up and plug in or whatever she needs to do, and we have one couple left, and that of course is Bilal and Shy, honey. So Wuma, whatever you have to do uh, to get yourself clean and prepped to talk about our last couple. Okay, and guess who else is prepped and she was already clean to talk about it? Our girl Wa. Hi.
Hi.
Okay. So basically, as we know, we start with pretty much a little montage of Shy. Wait, it starts with Shy's getting her feet or washing her feet, right? That was the first segment of them.
No, it's the when she walks in and she says, "You look cute," and it's because he's going to Juma.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. So we realize that, like Juma happens and he loves a Juma, you know what I'm saying? And he has been waiting to like have a woman at Juma, except for the one time he got to bring his woman to Juma, he didn't like introduce his woman to anyone at the Juma. But yeah, she is wearing this like cream suit with like some sweatpants. And look, sweatpants are in now. The girls wear them or whatever. But he comes in, he's like, "You look great, but like we're not gonna really wear those Jumas. Wait, to those pajamas to Jumas. No jammas at Jumas, right? Wow.
No jammies at Juma.
Do you like Bilal's outfit?
I just remember it was like plaid red.
Yeah, it
But
was.
if she likes it, I love it.
Okay. Basically, she's like, you know what? I'm not feeling the Juma. No. I'm like hormonal. It's like the thing. So I'm just gonna like let you go and just like Juma it out. And by the way, I didn't have fun on last Juma. It wasn't like he made me feel so great last Juma that I just can't wait to go back. So, and then because he wants her to go, he starts to try and talk her into going instead of being like, "Oh gosh, I really am disappointed. I really want you to go." He starts to give her a lecture on how she should go to Juma because we all should be always learning about our faith.
Yeah. He is I can't think of he's narcissist. Like the idea of him lecturing her and going into like a you should want to do this and it's not only really for men. Anyone can go to Juma and it's its own selfishness. Like I finally have a wife to bring to Juma and this now wife came one day and doesn't want to come the next day and I'm going to be embarrassed in front of my community because she's not here and everyone's going to be asking where she's at. So I'm going to lecture her. It's like this literally it's the same thing my dad does. Like there was this stupid example of like my dad was listening to somebody talk about like Black women during slavery and it was something that I had already known about, that like it wasn't considered rape to rape a Black woman because she wasn't considered a person. And so like it happened and I had just like come from the hospital and I was like, I'm good, I don't want to hear this. And he's like, you need to know your history. And I blew up on him because I was like, I'm almost 40, I know my history. Like please don't lecture me because I don't want to hear about like trauma. And it's like the same thing where it's like, but it's like a thing. It's like my dad can't help but do it because he always will see me as like his child who he's trying to better. And the problem is that Shida is not Bilal's child. And so it is not his job to better her.
I think that there might be tenets in certain religions that also make it somewhat of a man and head of household's job, though, to bring their household to heaven in such a way.
Yes, the Mormon church has that 100%. And I just don't know like enough about Islam to know whether
Yes.
or not that is true. I mean, I do, but the Muslim people that I know are liberal Muslim people. Like they don't wear hijabs. The women don't wear hijabs. They're not praying 5 times a day, but they celebrate Ramadan. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know a devout enough Muslim person to be able to say like, oh, this is what I know it to be based on like the friends that I have or the people that I know.
Yeah.
So I also think that whatever version of Islam that Bilal is, it's not Nation of Islam Muslim. So it must be a sect that is like particular in the Black community of US that's not Nation of Islam.
Uh, yeah, I'm not exactly sure, or just a literal mosque that is just in a predominantly African or Black American community there. I'm not quite sure. Um, or if there's that many sects, like, because I know there's like Shiite and Sunni, and then of
Hmm.
course Nation of Islam, which I'm not, there's so many, but I don't know. We don't. I feel
Yeah,
I
I
should
don't
not.
know. And so I think that like Mormonism, there must be like different whatever Christianity, Seventh-day Adventist, Catholic, this, that. There's probably a lot of different denominations, smaller ones or whatever in the US that would lead him to be that kind of they are Sunni. Oh,
Okay,
well,
great.
I don't know enough about it, but like it just feels like a lot. It feel because like I guess I always think of like I do think of Rebecca and Zied. Like is Zied preaching to Rebecca? Like I feel like Zied only put things on Rebecca when they were in Tunisia, but once they left, he was like, "You don't have to convert. I'm not gonna have kids, and let's live this heathen life."
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't wait to play Mario Kart all day long. So basically, as we go back to the storyline, he lectures her, and she's like, "You can stop me. You can stop that right now. Like you lecture me whole day long." And he's like, "Do I?" And she's like, "Yeah, yes. I literally have. I mean, I think like an upper graduate degree in like Bilal University at this point. Like, and I don't want anymore. Like, I've had my major, my minor, honey. I'm like done. Like, I don't want any more of these tests or whatever." And he like doesn't get that or whatever. And then she honestly, I think, draws a line where she just like, "Hear me when I say I'm not going. No, I'm not going. No, whatever. I am not going. K today. Not even K. I'm not going today. Thanks. Bye. Period." And talk about period. The one here. She's married. She's married. So then what happens is then this next segment, which is like, so that happens and whatever. And then basically, she's gonna pray, and so she is gonna wash her whole being and like, like, or freshen up, and she does it in the kitchen sink. And yeah, she does it in such a way where like her, I mean, it's interesting. She really just like puts water on her hand, like takes his hand, like puts it on her feet, just kind of like pushes the water around on her feet, like does it again, like just. Now, to me, when I watched this, I just felt it was something that was like just a cultural different thing. Just like, I think that when I saw that happen, I was like, oh, she's like, that's like feels just like a cultural difference of like American versus like maybe like somewhat Caribbean culture. Well,
So what she's doing is she's making wudu, which is the sort of like ablution, the cleaning.
oh yeah, that's
And
what I know, but like
yeah,
just doing it that way.
but
Yeah.
doing it in the sink felt Caribbean to me
Yeah.
because I sometimes will be, not to say specifically sink behavior, but like into the American brain it would be logical to go into the bathroom.
Sure.
There's usually there's a shower in there, there's a tub, so you can like do that in a space that is there to catch water. And I felt that her doing it in the kitchen sink was just a random Caribbean thing because I have family members who do things like that where they're just like do something different than I would do. And I'm like, huh, interesting that you chose the water hose as opposed to just going into the house. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But it's like, yes, it's both water. However, it's just interesting you chose to do that outside. And that's how I feel like about the kitchen sink. And listen, I have to side with him. He is correct. She
Yeah.
did leave a puddle of water. And it's not even about the fact that the floors are wood, which is like, God bless, they're real wood. Yeah,
No.
clean that up. But it also, are they? No. But also, like, maybe she's just used to an environment where dropping water on the ground would instantly just dissolve because of humidity, where like it would just dissipate because it's so hot that like dropping water on the floor is not a big deal.
Yeah, but no, it stains, and Wah knows because Wah had to go get her car shampooed recently because she had a water stain on her passenger seat. And she felt great about her little car wash, right, Wah?
Yep, I felt great. It was like I did what I wanted to do.
I
I see AK is down here is like the kitchen sink is different than the outside hose. Let me just clarify. I'm not specifically speaking to this instance. I'm saying I just use that as a random example to describe how I just hate that I have to like clarify this.
Oh,
How how when I've had like Caribbean family members do things that I'm like, it's interesting that you would make that choice. And that choice being like, whatever, not necessarily the water hose, not talking about Wudu, just talking about them choosing a different route than I would choose.
Right. I think that it's not so much that they use the sink to clean up. It's mostly that, to me, I'm like, I guess the cultural thing is like, go over the sink, or you would just like clean, you would do it differently, but it was like the way that it was on the floor of the kitchen was in a situation where it just doesn't feel very American. But having said that, also at the same time, if he wasn't so crazy about every other thing, this could have been like a normal conversation. Unfortunately, he can't, because he's been so hyper controlling about everything that she's like, fuck it, fuck the what, and it's annoying because he is wrong in every other way except for this way. In this way, he's right.
He's right. But also, is he wrong about her putting the forks and knives away in a crazy way?
No, I knew that upset you. So
because
yeah,
he's not wrong about that either.
Yeah, but then she's like, well, what, washing isn't my thing. And I'd be like, well, the girl, don't wash it. Or just also, is there no dishwasher there? Wow.
I'm dead. When she said, washing dishes is not my thing, I said, oh. Let me tell you, washing dishes is not my thing. I buy paper plates and ruin the planet specifically so that I don't have to wash dishes, because in the house I reside in, I'm not allowed to use the dishwasher at my leisure. So my ideal situation is to eat, rinse, put it in the washer, the dishwasher, and then load it at the end of the night, then do the thing. That's not allowed. So I buy paper plates in order to avoid it. So my thing is if you're not into washing dishes, you needed to tell him that he needs to get you a maid, because your excuse for not being into washing dishes is no reason for you to not utilize your kindergarten and first grade teachings of how to match things and put them in the drawer correctly. Because the truth is if it's not neat, it'll be helter-skelter and crazy in a minute. Now, if Bilal doesn't have a junk drawer full of nonsense, then he is one of the only Black households that doesn't. But it is a staple to have a nonsense drawer. So if that man wants one drawer or two drawers to not be nonsense, can we just Chris, you have an extensive drawer with cutlery, and it is neat.
It is neat. No, I'm going to say this. Okay, okay, she's the trophy wife of all trophy wives on the show. She is gorgeous. She is. Now, she has the capacity to be a good match for Bilal, and Bilal has to know that and trust that. I think that if Bilal cannot be a narcissist and realize what a great value that she is for his life, and allow, her to have the kids that she wants, that'll be great. And I would say the things that she has to work on is, if she wants to have this life of like living like this and stuff, she's going to have to do a couple of things. She's going to have to know how to manage a home and a household. And she's going to have to be warmer and more sociable. Because if you're going to be like developing properties, and if you're going to have like clients, if you're going to like want to be a big person in your spiritual community, you need to have a wife that's going to come at it with like that kind of like, I'm there for my man, like we hold shit down. And it takes energy to show up at Juma every Friday where he wants you. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that, but if you want to be with Bilal, your compromise, and he has a whole bunch, I've already said what his are, your compromise is you're definitely going to have to like get your house skills in order, and you're definitely going to have to be 100% like an entertaining housewife.
Absolutely. Because I feel like he loved the fact that she was shy, because I think men they think shy and they think demure.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think shy and pampered, because that's what she is. Like, even like the fact that she's not good at washing dishes, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that Chris Farrah washes dishes, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And she's pampered. Mm-hmm. She washes dishes with gloves. Mm-hmm. She's the first person I've ever met in my life who truly, every time they touch a dish, is with a glove. I've never done that. I only use gloves to clean the bathroom. But Chris will put on a glove to wash a dish. In our mid-20s, Chris had gloves on washing dishes. Mm-hmm. But she washed dishes. Mm-hmm. And so when I hear that they're not good at it, I'm like, I don't understand that statement. That means that your mother has done all those things. And so, or the maid has done all those things. And that's fine. But then that much what you need to say. Like I'm not here to I can't clean, I can't organize. Like that's not my thing. Aesthetics, I'll give you aesthetics. Cute on your arms, I'll give you cute on your arm. Flexible AF, I give you that.
Bendy.
Here are my strong suits. But talking to strangers, entertaining your friends, cooking, cleaning, not me.
Listen, I think that unfortunately, if you want to have a beautiful home and you want to have a man that is a prominent man in society, that means that usually that they are successful in different areas and they move between different communities and areas. And having a partner that can do such with grace is a commodity. So I'm just wanting her to like get to the top of her game, just like I want him to. However, at the same time, I think that he has a lot more way to go than she does, because I don't know if I could deal with what he is. But yeah, so yeah, well, we will just see. But basically, yeah, like I also want to say the thing about the not cleaning the dishes and like not putting them away is that then you also beg, okay, girl, well, did you look down and see food on the dishes still and then didn't draw or just like put them back in? And then your other thing is like that isn't a hard thing to do. It makes me a little wary of like your decision making if that was a hard thing for you to do, or you are so not into doing your best at things that are easy to do a somewhat good job at. Because if you are so lazy at that, then how are you going to like when something's important, like what's your follow through with that? Like what's the quality of your work in any way? Like there's something about the integrity of your work that whatever you're doing in most areas, you want to do your best, like either because it's your name or your reputation or just because you're living there. Why not be so it's just a lot of, it's an interesting, yeah, it's interesting that she was very defensive about it, as if like, how could you expect me to like clean? I don't know.
You should be grateful that I even did it, because I don't do stuff like this. So please thank me for doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
And you know what? To me, that's what like a kid want. That's what I wanted from my parents when I actually was able to complete the like crazy tasks that they put upon me. Like when I actually was able to clean the whole house by myself on a Saturday, I wanted them to say, "Thank you so much. You've helped us out." But they really were like, you should do this every Saturday with glee because we brought you into this world. And I was like, I don't understand. And that's kind of how she's behaving, of like, wait, no, I already told you. But the difference is that she's a 37-year-old woman moving in with a man who wants a certain lifestyle, and they haven't aligned on what that looks like, either because he hasn't expressed it to her, or B, he has, and she has been like, yes, I can do that. And then now the actual practicality of it means that she can't. The truth is that this woman does not have a job. So if she wants to take an extra 5 minutes to organize the forks in the way that they need to be organized, I don't understand what she was so busy doing.
Yeah, she definitely doesn't have a job. And I mean, that yeah, no, that part was confusing. And I don't want to be able outside. So anytime that I have to be is just, I'm pissed. I'm really pissed.
Yeah.
Well, that was the end of the episode. Wow, we did it.
You did it. I just joined in to help you describe how Mohamed speaks English.
It is each note is, it's like each note is some sort of trouble.
Yeah, to me it truly sounds like he's the prayer that gets like announced when it's time to pray, like in some like Muslim communities.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's what it sounds like to me. It's like he's doing the prayer.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's really interesting that that's his English, but his English is good. Like he has very little mistakes. He uses words that I wouldn't expect. As well as like Miona uses English words that I wouldn't expect. She used the word clumsy in this week's episode, and I said, "Good use of the word clumsy."
He was like he tried to twirl her into a car. God, he's just like, it's the Miona and Jibri show. We're gonna wear matching things. Like we're gonna be the couple of the season. I just like, this was so manufactured and so boring. Are you bored?
Yeah. Did you talk about David's black scent?
Yeah, well, I said that he was different. Yeah, well, I hinted at it.
I had to talk about it because like I ignored it the first time, and then this time was so blatant that I just could not ignore it, because I said you grew up in Rapid City. Why do you speak that way? So it's just interesting. It's such an interesting. I respect the fact that they did what they had to do to get on this show to catapult themselves. But like if their segments don't get more interesting, then I'm gonna have to drop them the way I've dropped Kara and Guillermo. Like I don't talk about Kara and Guillermo at all. They're done.
Well, the season itself had dropped them. I mean, they've only been in like 4 out of the like 8 episodes. I feel like they're like the most like unused couple, like.
Yeah, they really are. We don't have any heavy hitters. We don't have any Jasmines, and I mean, I think the closest thing that we have to Jasmine and Gina would be Bilal and Shida. And it's just now not, and like, or Emily and Kobe are kind of carrying this because they have such an interesting dynamic, and Volley. But really they're the only ones that are interesting, and Mohamed and Eve are just kind of taxing. But also, can you believe that we're already on episode 8?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Oh, I know that you're watching Family Chantel. Are you also watching Seeking Sister Wife?
Yeah, so I didn't realize it started yesterday, so I'm gonna yeah, so I'm gonna jump on it. So I did my Family Chantel live, and I have Seeking Sister Wife live, and then yeah,
I want to do Seeking Sister Wife too.
I love the show. I
Yeah,
think it's great.
I also started watching Ultimatum finally, and that's really ridiculous too. And I watched an all-in-one sitting the U.S. version of Love on the Spectrum.
Oh, season 1?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. I watched it like last year or whatever, and it is so
version. So did you watch? There's like, I remember, like, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I only watched the Australian version.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one. So yeah, the American version is now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that too. I really did think it was just so cute how they are navigating through this, and just how blunt. I can't wait till Adani starts talking and just saying things, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's hilarious. Thank you."
You think he's gonna be like very literal?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of no. I think it's gonna be. He already says no now, and he can't speak. He's not verbal, so it's like, or when he's ready for people to go, he'll just be like, "Bye bye." And you're just like, "Dang, okay." Like, and you're not even leaving, and he's just like, "Bye bye."
He won't tell that to you though. He loves you. He doesn't want you to leave.
He loves me, but like other people, or when he doesn't want them to talk anymore, he covers their mouth. He's covered my mouth, my dad's mouth, several times.
So funny. Your dad's like not having it.
Yeah, my dad's like, "Boy, don't you cover my mouth."
Like, I loved it though. It was really interesting, and I just feel like I was talking with my friend Morgan about it. Morgan, where we were just like, there are so many people who are just like the concept of like neurodivergence, just the spectrum of different ways in which we interpret the stimuli of life and stuff is so interesting, and just the bevies and ways in which there are misunderstandings in this world and whatnot is just like, I think, can be somewhat linked to the way that how different we perceive and view things. So, but I loved watching it. I thought it was so good. Do you guys, okay, so yeah, did anyone here watch Love on the Spectrum, either the Australian version or the Netflix American version that just dropped? I mean, both are on Netflix, but the American one is on Netflix right now.
Yeah, their Australian one is on season 2, so you can see 2 seasons of it. And then the Ultimatum, just like I have very strong feelings about people in their 20s who aren't in the middle of the country and uber religious getting married in their 20s. Like, I just have strong feelings about it. Like, it makes sense to me if you're uber religious and like all you want to do is a certain very like simple lifestyle living in Oklahoma City. Like, that makes sense to me. But like, if you are in a hustle and bustle place, there's too much going on around you for you to truly, in my opinion, commit like that in the year 2021, 2022. At 24, you're telling this person that they need to like marry you. I'm like, oh, do you understand? Like that is a lot. And it's not even just both people. Like you're both going to grow, you're both going to change. Like just give us some time.
Yeah, everyone wants to be famous, I think. Wait, this is information that we're getting live. Have you all seen Rebecca tonight on her live? And then Liverpool says crying because Zayed is going home for a month. And then, oh, wait.
Yeah, isn't Zayed already there on Instagram? He looks like he's posting with his family already.
What do you think? Why is he going home for a month?
I think it's because it's the first time he can go back since he got here.
Oh, okay.
And like, you know, when you want to go home and visit your family, you're not just going to go for a week or two. Like you're going to go for a month and like really like soak it in and, you know.
He won't, because I think he's going to come back for that money, honey. Like, no, I mean, unless, I mean, whether he's cheating on her or whatnot, but I mean, I think that he's going to come back and be a 90-day fiance. I'm not saying he's cheating on her, but you know, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of my thing with both Mohamed and Ziad and Aladdin was like, do you guys really not want to have children? And so because that's a lot to give up for someone unless you don't want to have kids, unless you're like absolutely not, I don't want the responsibility of that ever in my life. But usually like it's a hard decision to make, especially if you're from a culture that believes that having children is your number one, your duty, or number two, you
Your
know,
legacy or something.
yeah. Like I honestly, while I was like steep in my Christianity, I thought not having kids was selfish. Like I literally thought that person was like just saying I'm so selfish. And now that I think back on it, I'm like, why the hell did I think that person was being selfish? I think that person is like, you know, trying to live a better life for themselves and whatever it is that they want. But I thought it was actually selfish because I was like, everybody else has to have kids. Why do you think you're special not to have them? Selfish. You just want to like live your life and like travel.
I want to travel so bad. I want to go to like so many places. I want to go to like Edinburgh Fringe and stuff. I have to end this live because finally, my dad and I got tickets to go see that Top Gun. That Top Gun. It took me this whole time because it was like so sold out. So I like late night tickets I'm gonna go see. But this has been absolutely great, and obviously longer than pretty much as long as the whole episode, and I think better because this episode staked. And you got not only me but Wah. Yay. So yeah, Wah does a lot of stuff. As you guys know, you can go to her YouTube, and she decided to go live at the same time I did, and then talk about Family Chantel. Were people talking in your live about how I was also live, or no?
Oh no, I told you. You didn't get my text messages?
No, I did, but I just want to know, while you were live, also did people call you out?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Mickey jumped in and was like, "Oh my god," or something, and I said, "I know, Mickey. She's going live. Don't worry. I don't judge it. Go over there." I was like, "Yeah, you guys can go talk to Chris if you want to," because I was talking about a less watched show. So I understood that would take the president. But like I was only live for 32 minutes. So
you guys, if you haven't yet, go watch and like her video, obviously. And then yeah, I am so excited to watch Sister Wives. I'm really into it. And I'm hoping that there's some twists and turns in this season of 90 Day and we get back on course. That'd be really great. The makeup won't go to waste. You guys are so funny. Yeah, I love you all. So basically, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am at Chris L. Farah. There's also Wah. That's her. That's her Instagram handle.
AKA Wahimalino.
No. So, yeah. So I got that Vanity Fair on Facebook, my private Facebook group. Should I let you go while you want to say anything else?
No, you can let me go.
Okay. We love you so
Wait,
much.
I do have a question. When you say you're going to go watch Top Gun, is that a play, a musical?
No, the movie that's like the biggest movie right now in the movie theaters, like with like Tom Cruise and stuff like that.
They remade it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me Google that.
Like it opened huge numbers. Go see it tonight.
Oh. I have to go to yoga, but yeah, I'll look into it.
Good for you. All right, good for you. I'm really proud of you. All right, bye, Wah.
Bye.
Okay, my loves. So basically, yeah, private Facebook group, Vanity Fair, if you want to know when I go live, always important. Other than that, Instagram, Chris Farah, Chris L. Farah on Twitter, Instagram, and Chris Farah on Venmo if you want to give me that. But thank you so much for my super chat earlier, Brittany. That was really lovely, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that generous, little tip, honey. I always appreciate a tip. And then, God bless. I just really appreciate all of your loving comments. Thank you so much for liking my makeup and my hair and everything. I love Wa, and so I'll never get jealous because I want to share the same. I first of all, yeah, I love that Wa and I have core similar peeps. When I go to her page and I don't know the names, I'm like, oh, who are you? And I see the names I know, I'm like, yes. So no, it's all good. All right, my loves, that's it. That's all I have to say. If you know, I'm gonna be in Kate Casey's Irvine Improv show. It's a Wednesday, July 13th, and I'll start posting the link and stuff like that. We're not even a month out yet, so other than that, that's it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time and energy, your fun comments. Love it so much. I really, really, I couldn't appreciate it more. And one more little hope and pray that you guys like this video. Give it a little thumbs up or a thumbs down and subscribe if you haven't. That's it. Let's take a deep breath. Okay, breathe out. And in. And out. We're going to have a really great week. It's been really, really hectic out in the world right now, but I think that, when everything, this seems like we're pretty much on the ground. So it seems like there's only up from here. And that's what I'm hoping for. So continue to spread, your love and your light and make your art in whatever way speaks to you. Because the way that speaks to you will speak to others. And that's how it works. All right, my loves. Take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe. Make art. And thank you to my mods again, because I don't know what it is, honey, but we had some trolls. Okay. I love you guys. See you.